What is up, guys? You got Not the Worst here, bringing another patch notes recap this week for February 12th in Black Desert Online. Obviously, biggest news we've got going on is we have Witch and Wizard Succession now released, and we also have some buffs to Awakening for Warrior, which does coincide with, as they've been stating, balancing Awakening and Succession so that there are two options and not one just strictly better than the other. Anyways, let's take a look at what events we've got going on. Of course, we have this succession of events for Witch and Wizard. Not going to delve into that one because we know what these rewards are, been exactly the same for all of these succession classes as they're released. Valentine's Day Adventure Log, and then we also have Fairies Faves events. So let's take a look at that. Adventure Log, as you know, is you're going to complete these things in order with all the other adventure logs that we've had in the past. This would be a little more similar to the Halloween one. And getting all the way to the last quest will get you a Fine Accessory Box 2, along with a Perfume of Courage. So that is an event period one, so you definitely want to do it while the event is open. Now we have Fairies Faves. We actually have seen this before with the Beehives that you shoot down with a matchlock to combine them. You're eventually going to be following these things up to get fairy wings and some honey wines for leveling up your fairies. You can also trade them for a temporary life spirit stone as well if you don't need the fairy stuff. And then they've also updated the loyal attendance rewards as well, very fairy oriented this month also, which makes sense since they've now allowed you to buy pearl items to reset your fairy skills, much like horses, so not super surprising to see that. Moving on, no events ended this week, so everything's still going on. We did get the Black Spirit Adventure gold rewards handed out in your mail. We now have Dark Rift Contraction has begun, so noting they have removed Gieth, Beg, Gehaku, Mogulis, Paturum, and Ahab Griffin from the Dark Rift spawn pool, I guess we'll call it. Now, what they're going to do with this overall, I don't know for sure, but there was a survey that went out, I want to say around a month or two ago, asking a lot of questions about it. But one of the things I remember the questions in there being, what do you think about having Dark Rifts seasonally, or different seasons of Dark Rifts with different rewards and that sort of thing for Dark Rifts? I remember that being in the survey, so I have to think they got some amount of feedback in regards to that. Depending on what they end up doing with this, furthermore, obviously the Dark Rift hasn't been changed other than removing these. We might see some increasing in accessory prices, which I wouldn't be upset about. Might give a little more viability to lower geared players grinding things like crescents and stuff like that to actually make decent amount of money like we used to back in the day, where crescents used to be double what they are now. When they would drop, who knows, we'll see. Or maybe they're just going to make them even better rewards, but only, every so often do they come around. We've got the max amount of HP increase for Conquest War, Balanos, Serendia, Calphion, Medea, and Valencia increased from 500 to 5,000. The amount of max HP increase per conquest level will be displayed in the territory information within the world map, and then you can see the chart of what you've got listed there for max HP. And the HP increase decrease effects for participation in Conquest Wars only apply within the range of 0 to 5,000. The amount of max HP increase for Node Wars was increased to 500. Barding was added to guild rank rankings, and now if your character dies near the Old Wisdom Tree and you choose to resurrect at the closest town, your character will resurrect at the Old Wisdom Tree instead of the Cauduel Forest Path. Of course, we've got the new adventure log for Valentine's Day, which was mentioned earlier, and allegedly the game's client memory was optimized, so that sounds nice. A couple issue fixes in the game world there, more searchable NPC availability for Adelph and Afiria. Ticking the continuously used Breezy Sail checkbox will now allow you to use the skill while auto-moving. Revise the Breezy Sail skill description and mount info window to have more straightforward worded conditions for using the skill. And destroying any ship such as a raft, rowboat, etc. in forced PvP mode will decrease your karma by 200,000. Dream Horse Ardunaut, that is the Pegasus teeth color, is now white. I didn't realize it wasn't before, but I guess he got a little bit of Colgate action going on. Class changes. We have these buffs to Warrior, which we did see on the Global Lab previously and was covered, but I'll go ahead and jump through them a little bit for you here. We've got, this is pretty much Awakening buffs across the board, and there's a developer's note that I'll read at the end of these as well. You can now activate the Charging Thrust skill with Great Sword by pressing WF. Number of smash attacks hits of Grave Digging was increased by 1. PvE damage of Grave Digging and Black Spirit Grave Digging increased, and their PvP damage was increased by 10%. And then you can see in the chart here at max, we've got 762 times 4 and 801 by 4 previously, and we now have 1200% by 4 and 1263 by 5, which is pretty huge. Number of chop attack hits of the flow slashing the dead was increased by 1 hit. Fixed an issue where not all chop attack damage of it was applied in certain situations. Damage of frenzied strikes was increased. We can see at max level was previously 925 by 5 at the end, and it's now 1018 by 5 at the end. Number of hits of armor break when the skill's cooldown is over was increased by 2 hits. The flow for armor break damage was increased, previously 653%, now 849. Adjusted hit damage of pulverized skills, previously 903 and 1174. It's now 1174 on by 7 on all hits. Now, monster spinning effect will be applied on good hits when using Pulverize. The hit range of Pulverize and Tempest was changed to cover your character's surroundings, and they'll now apply more hits than before. Down smash effects will be applied on good hits when using Tempest. You can now use Merciless during cooldown. Adjust the damage of Scars of Dusk, previously maximum hit at 1851. It is now, and that was at 5 hits. It's now 1666. Looks like this was adjusted down a little bit lower for Succession, so I guess that one was a little bit out of what they wanted for damage-wise. And then also for Succession, Ground Smash's Bound effect will now be applied to PvE only. Then the dev note on it, the character balance adjustments we've started since our last updates do not only aim at finding the balance between monster zones and PvP, but also that between characters and between Awakening and Succession. The last skill adjustments we made for some characters will be followed by Awakening and Succession adjustments, starting with Warrior, which we can obviously see here. Slight nerf to a couple skills in Succession, and then obviously a lot of buffs to Awakening. Our main concern is to allow you to choose between Awakening and Succession depending on your individual preferences or tastes, instead of weighing these two for their damage or efficiencies. We'll do our best to release the Succession of other pending characters successfully. So it's pretty cool to see. We'll have to see how this continues to develop over time as they balance classes, because in a lot of cases there's a pretty huge disparity in certain aspects of the game between Succession and Awakening. Valkyrie got a down effect, will now be applied when normally using the Succession skill Ultimate Divine Power. Of course, Witch and Wizard got their Successions, so those were released there, and nothing else super crazy on any other classes going on. There is now a simple alchemical formula for concentrated magical black stones, weapon, and armor. You can craft them into sharps and hards accordingly, and you can do them at 10 if you use 10 at a time. So there's that. The Old Moon solvent that's used along with that recipe can be purchased obviously from the Old Moon manager, which is noted there, and then we'll take a look at the Pearl Shop in just a minute. Bees have been gathering near Florin, and wooden beehives are created, coincides with the event that we've got going on. We got some more interface changes. I'd recommend just log in and checking it out. This was condensed a little bit, the My Information menu when you hit P, and some of the other windows. We've got a new little kill feed animation-y thing for when you are killing other players during wars. Some update to barter UI as well. Again, I would just check these out. Then we have some resolved issue fixes across the board there, and some other graphical fixes that they are aware of that haven't been fixed. So let's take a look at our Pearl Shop for the week. We've got the Dragon is back, it says. Return of the Dragon, which I didn't know was that exciting. But for 50, 60 pearls, you're going to get a Wizard Ghost Fee, 30-day value pack, 15-day Blessing of Kamasilv, and Book of Old Moon, along with 10 item scrolls, 5 blessed scrolls, and a 10% discount coupon coming with the Crimson Dragon bundle. If you're not interested in that and just want the Ghost Fee and Crimson Dragon, you can get a pack of those too for 2,200 pearls. We have the Succession packs, of course, for Witch and Wizard, since those were just released. I really like both of these outfits. I think are pretty cool. Not a super fan of the hat, but it's obviously like Wizard staple, that hat. But I would probably run no hat myself. But I think both these outfits actually look pretty nice as far as the Succession class have gone. We've got them in a pack bundle as well, where you also get the classic set with a Book of Old Moon and 5 item scrolls as well. Witch Succession pack, obviously the same thing for the Witch version of it. We got Succession weapon exchange coupons on sale for 4,800 pearls, and this is main and sub weapons only. Doesn't include the Awakening weapon. Not a bad deal if you're considering re-rolling. Artisan's Delight, 1,800 pearls for 50 artisans, 30 Cronstone, 10 Valkyrie, and an enhancement help kit level 1. We've got category sale on mounts and Witch and Wizard outfits. If you were looking to pick those up or maybe sell some outfits, there you go. We got Valentine's Day furniture existing, because there it is. And then this is pretty neat. They replaced the Guardian release loyalty bundle that we had. We now have the Blazing bundle for 100 loyalty, purchasable once per day. You get an Advice of Valks 10 item collection scroll, one of those, 1 blessed scroll, and a high quality draft box as well. Obviously, cool stuff for loyalties is always appreciated. Now we have this, which is kind of interesting, the daily special, which is going to be available until further notice. So depending on what day of the week it is, you can spend 80 pearls and get whatever the weekly item is. Wednesday being 2 artisan memories and 2 memory fragments for 80 pearls. Not completely terrible. Thursdays we have Elion's Tears with a premium elixir box. Fridays we have 2 mercenary experience skill scrolls. Saturdays is 2 large energy tonics and 1 life skill XP. Sundays we've got 2 mount XPs, a celerity draft, and a Mysterious Blue Conch, the Yarnos, or Brilliant Crimson Fireflower, those double items for Awakening horses. Mondays, we have some chewable tablets and organic feed, and Tuesday, 3 compass as well. Nothing super exciting other than maybe the energy tonic and artisans, but I don't know. Interesting to see that they're unavailable until further notice. Feels like a test market for a little bit of a pearl sink to try and get people to maybe push a little bit more into pearls. I'm not exactly sure what the mindset there was. These aren't super amazing, but it's also only 80 pearls. So anyways, that's it for this week's patch notes. If you have any comments about it or other things you wanted to add to it, please do so in the comments down below. I want to hear from you guys what you think about this week's patch notes. Did you try out Witch and Wizard Succession? How are you liking it? That kind of thing. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to like it. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, and you'll get notifications for when new videos do go live. And if you want to catch me playing live, there's a link to my Twitch page in the description below. You can head on over there and drop a follow so you get notifications for that as well. With that said, that's going to be it for this video. I want to thank everybody for watching, and I will see you next time.